Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. You can watch all our shows on YouTube, where over 190,000 shows have been watched. And you can find the link directly through www.ntnm.org. We're real big on community policing. Community policing is changing in our area. We are actually might be adding somebody, but that's not for sure. And we are also changing the dates of the local beat meetings. So if you live in the 10 sector, which is West Rogers Park, the meetings will be on Thursdays at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock, depending on the beat. Check into caps24.org, a site that Sonny Hirsch runs, to find out when your community policing beat is. It is a pleasure to introduce you to somebody that we had briefly on the last Chicago Jewish Folk Festival. We're talking about the executive director of the Kehillah Jewish Education Fund, Nesanel Siegal. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to come. So tell us about the Kehillah Jewish Education Fund.
Okay, the goal of the Kehillah Jewish Education Fund is, number one, to make a day school education affordable for the masses, and two, is to encourage the masses to attend the day schools. And I want to say a reason that it's so important is really without education, you could think of it in terms of just regular education. You know that it's education that makes a person.
Yeah.
That's his success. Without that solid education, firmly implanted, he's going to go nowhere fast. And in Judaism, without that solid feeling of what am I as a Jew, you're going to go nowhere very fast. And we've had it with the tremendous amount of assimilation and people that don't consider themselves Jewish.
Yeah, the most common phrase I hear these days is culturally Jewish, but not practicing, which tells me they're one step from being out the door.
That's right. And meaninglessness was such a terrible, empty feeling. If we can't keep our Jewish children, why do you say children? Our Jewish population feeling that I'm living a meaningful Jewish life, I don't have Jews. And for that reason, we need the education. You know, our founding fathers, and I'm talking about of the country, realized that if I want to have a educated public, I have to set up a public school system, because otherwise, what's going to happen? It's if you can afford it, you get it. If you can't afford it, you don't, and that's not okay for the masses. That's what we need. That's what the purpose of Kehillah Jewish Education Fund is in terms of our Jewish day school education. Our day schools are not affordable for the masses. When we're dealing with $10,000 to $20,000 a year per child, that's not affordable.
Right.
And what the fund does is it says, Nesanel, giving monies for this is not an option, or shouldn't be in your mindset an option. This is a communal obligation. Just like going back to the example of secular education, it's not an option whether I want to pay my real estate taxes or not, which is the vehicle that funds the education. It's an obligation. And why? Because it benefits the masses, even those that don't directly having their children. Because we have a educated public, it benefits them too. And what we do is we set up a monthly giving fund so that to make it easy and efficient, so that I can give either on a recurring credit card. It goes absolutely every single month.
We have to be really careful about asking for money on the show.
I'm not asking. You're asking how it works.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Just explaining how it works.
Got it. Okay.
So we set up the fund to work in an efficient manner.
Yeah.
So that it easily comes right out of a person's credit card or out of their bank account, but it comes directly every single month, and it makes an efficient way of collecting funds rather than calling and trying to do the raffles and this and that and the other, each of which you have to resolicit each and every year,
right.
and be extremely costly.
Extremely. And not to mention not always that efficient, and how often do you actually get paid?
That's right.
And there are still people from when I used to deal with certain segments of a certain community that still owe me money from 10 years ago. So, and unfortunately that's not unusual.
That's right.
So no, this sounds like a very... Now, how did this originate? What was the deal behind here?
We have in the community, we have a wonderful sugar daddy whose name is Dr. Yosef Walder, who's just a beautiful, beautiful person whose whole being is, what can I do to make this community work? And it's him that made it get off the ground. He seeded the project and continues to make it work. But thank God, right now it's really a healthy project, in that I am now, instead of 200, 300, 400 people that were giving, I am, thank God, nearly 1,200 people that are giving, and of which over 900 are giving on a monthly basis.
Very nice. Now, just to mention, he's kind of an interesting guy himself, that maybe if he ever wants to come on the show. He actually did this thing he's got a company called Integrated DNA, and he's got come up with some, this is really, state-of-the-art DNA, whatever it is, and you're over in the Wi-Fi building.
That's correct.
And it's quite an operation there, and I know it's very employee friendly, because everybody I know that works there is very happy there. So no, it's very nice, and I've never actually met him, but I've certainly heard a lot about him. So okay, you're the executive director, so you're busy coming on the show. Well, actually, I wouldn't say busy coming on the show. You come on the show. You were at the Jewish Folk Arts Festival last time around, and letting people know about it.
That's correct.
And I've also seen the ads and things like Only ads in various Jewish publications. And when I see the list of people, it's like, wow. It's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, what else would you like to tell us about the Kehillah Fund? Or are we fine? If we're fine, it's fine too.
You know what? We're fine.
Okay, that's very good. Well, I want to thank you very much, Nesanel Siegal. By the way, I've known him for quite a while. Excellent family, good guy, excellent parents, brothers, sisters, the whole shot, and also cousins. And in any event, I want to thank you very much for coming on. If people would like to talk to you, people want to contact you.
Oh, they can contact me. Phone numbers are 847-745-1724. An email address is Kehillah Fund, that's spelled KEHILLAH Fund at idtdna.com. So Kehillah Fund at idtdna.com.
Very good. And you got a class to teach, and you've got a service to lead, so I want to let you go.
Okay.
But thank you for joining us, and thank you for telling us about the Kehillah Fund.
Thank you. Thank you. And you can also see us on the web at kehillahfund.org.